Yeah, I'm going to do that one again.
No.
Sorry, that's the one.
Yeah, you get one
I
shot.
got too much I got to edit out of this beginning, Jenna.
Yeah,
No more.
sorry. Marissa, start here. Hello, bookworms, bibliophiles, and lovers of all things literature. Welcome to the next chapter of the Braless Book Guild podcast, where we discard our bras and discuss books in all their formats, published and unpublished. We are your hosts, Jenna, that's me, Marissa,
Hello.
and Megan.
Hi.
Before we get started, as always, what are we drinking today, ladies? Marissa.
I am drinking a wild berry hibiscus tea that I found at a Pete's coffee shop, and it's one of their brands. I don't remember what the brand name is, but because we talked about it is summertime, I am drinking it iced.
Mm-hmm. And you said it tastes like?
It kind of tastes like the Jolly Rancher, but not
Ooh.
like, it's not overly sweet, which is good, but it definitely has that like sweetness to it that makes me
Berry
think
and
Jolly Rancher.
hibiscus usually do kind of have a sweeter taste to it, and it makes a very nice tea. What about you, Megan?
I am drinking a chocolate milk tea that I went in and I was like, do you guys have, it's like a boba. And I said, do you guys have anything that's not caffeinated, since we are recording later in the evening? And he was like, well, we have like the taro and the coconut and all of this. And, but I can make you like a chocolate one that's not caffeinated. So it's actually probably not even tea. It's probably just chocolate milk with boba in it. But
We're going to pretend
I'm
it's
going
tea.
to call it a milk tea. So yeah. How about you, Jenna?
I am tried and true and doing my, wow, my brain just blanked. The banana-y one that we have.
Banana one. I don't know.
The-
Steeped in folklore?
Yes, I kept wanting to say wild forest. I'm like, that is not it, Jenna.
For those who have the Steeped in Folklore tea from Owl Crate, if
Best.
you put a little tiny bit of honey in it and then do cold foam on top, it is amazing. We had it the other day.
Essentially what you're
D&D.
doing is
It
you're
was so
making it
good.
latte style.
It was so
or
good.
fog style. It's amazing. It's so good. I literally powered through that tea. And as I was making it, I was going, I wish I had cold foam because I'm making it iced now. So it would have been even better.
I almost brought my cold foam because I was like, yeah, maybe you guys want some tea with cold foam in it. But then I was like, I'm going to do milk tea. It's fine.
Yeah. My house would be impossible to record in. It's older and loud
Dogs.
and noisy. We have dogs and child and husband and mother-in-law who think that they're quiet but are not.
We love them, though.
They're the best. Wonderful.
I didn't tell you when I went to go get my laptop charger from your place. I just walked in and Jelani's laying there with Elias. And I just walk up, grab my charger, and he goes, Marissa? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, grabbing my laptop charger. And he's like, where's Jenna? I'm like, she couldn't come because he'd get upset.
You have to say, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
I'm not here. Don't worry.
It would be impossible to ever record at my house. But I have a wonderful tea and coffee bar set up that I wish I had every time we were recording, because I'm like, I have a frother that I could make our own cold foam here. I have almost everything you could think of to make almost anything you wanted, tea or coffee wise. And I just like do my best to pack up like the 4 or 5 things that I think that we might need when we're here.
Unlike Marissa's place that has the most basic tea kettle ever and a tiny little corner of her counter.
We do record at Marissa's place. So I do my best, and I live 5 minutes down the road. So if I was really, really desperate, I could go back. But as we discussed, my child cannot see me once I've left. He cannot be reminded that I am gone. So,
well, especially
happens.
today when you were already gone for
Yes.
a few hours and then he saw you for like 5 minutes.
Yes, exactly. Today was extra special. I get extra mommy time, and it was wonderful. But my child would be very angry if he saw me again. So, so I one day will slowly build a coffee and tea corner at Marissa's house. It's my goal now. Or at our giant mansion that we have for the Braless Book Guild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll eventually get there.
Yeah.
Like
I'll
and
have to.
subscribe. Spread the word, people. Give
That
us our
way we
mansion.
Yeah, that way we can have our coffee and tea bar.
We'll host galas
Yes.
at
Oh
the
my gosh.
mansion. That can be our return to the community.
Oh, I would love to do it in okay, look guys, here. you guys want to spread the word, because this is the thing. You guys are going to want to come to our galas, because I want each of our galas to be themed as different books. So
I was thinking steampunk for Marissa,
Yeah.
high fantasy for Jenna, and what do I like?
high fantasy.
High fantasy for Megan.
I was going to say, I like the
Allison, what
idea of doing different themes for different, like, books and stories and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, as soon as that, like, popped out of my mouth, all I could imagine was a Hunger Games theme.
Oh,
To the death, everyone.
See, I liked the idea of having a bunch of book nerds go to a gala, and it's just literally everybody shows up. Hey, how you doing? Grabs a book, sits in the corner, and reads. Nobody socializes.
Everyone's dressed up to the nines. We all talk for 5 minutes, and then we all read in our own separate chairs.
the extrovert in me needs more. I want to be friends with everybody.
We will find the extrovert bookworms as well. but
We'll have
we
a
will
separate room for them.
We'll have the library open for those who want to go read.
Perfect.
Yes. And it'll be
Perfect.
much like My Lady Jane.
My Lady Jane.
And have the books on the chairs.
Exactly.
We're going to do an episode soon for the show because it's coming out soon. So, shall we get on topic?
Oh, do we ever?
I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine chatting. I don't care either way.
No, so we thought that we'd talk today about the different ways that we read books, you know, whether it be physical copies. Are you a hardcover, paperback person? Do you have a preference, hardcover or paperback? Or ebooks, Kindles, the like.
Kobo.
Yeah. And then
Nook.
I was going to say, I couldn't think of Barnes & Noble for the life of me. I kept wanting to call it Cranny, and I'm like, that's not it. But I think it was
Nooks
just
and
Nooks and
Crannies.
Crannies. I was like, why do I want to call this Cranny?
They should come out with a smaller version called the Cranny.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Hey, you heard it here first. We're going to patent that.
TM.
And Barnes & Noble, if you want to talk to us,
Yeah.
let us know.
Or audiobooks. And I think we talked a little bit about before when we were thinking of doing this episode, how some people are like anti-audiobook and think that it's not actually reading a book. We all disagree. You
Well,
are...
actually, I'm sure.
we all disagree, Marissa.
Plot twist.
I don't think you're
Let's-
reading the book, but you are consuming the literature.
There you go.
You're being read to.
You are being
Yeah.
read
It's
to.
story time, like when we're in 5th grade.
Yes.
Or when I broke my nose and I had Jenna read My Lady Jane to me.
Yes. Which was very difficult, actually. When you break your nose, you don't think about how painful it is to laugh when your entire facial muscles are attached to
Yeah,
your
that
nose.
was not a good book for her to read to me.
It is a funny book.
It was
funny
very
book.
funny. And I don't think any of us were prepared for how funny that book was going to be. And Marissa was trying very hard to keep still, and I kept making her snort or laugh. And then she'd be like, stop, stop.
You're like, I'm not doing anything. I am just reading a book. Talk to
Yes.
the authors.
I think also the funny part is Jenna's dyslexic, so Jenna reading out loud just does not work.
yeah.
Love her to death, and she did it for me, but
I did.
it just, she always stumbles over words, and it's really
So
funny.
I'm the type of person where when we do like the popcorn reading or whatever in class and they'd
that
call
was
on
the
you
worst.
to read a few, I'd literally spend I'd lose track of where the whole class was because I had to read ahead
Read
of it.
ahead, yeah.
So that I knew what I was going to say because my dyslexia was so bad. I knew that I'd just stumble over all my words, and I have extreme social anxiety. So like, and I mean, I was in high school. Who doesn't have a little bit of social anxiety in high school and worry about what their peers are thinking of them, except for maybe Megan?
I did not care. I was weird and I did not care.
You know what's weird is I was very much an introvert in high school, but I was really excited whenever they wanted to, like, whenever we did, like, Shakespeare plays or something like that, and, like, I want to be somebody with a lot of lines. I don't want to be, like, the side character or anything like that, but I didn't want to be the main person. Like, I wanted to be, like, the main side character where you had a lot of lines, but you don't have, like, all of the monologues.
I think I liked that stuff too, but that's because I think I really just enjoyed Shakespeare. But then I just prep ahead of time and know my lines and not have to worry about it. I just don't like being put on the spot. And really my dyslexia is bad with letters, but it's really bad with numbers. So anything that had like history books or anything that had numerical stuff in it that like dates, I'd really be messed up. So I hated that.
Speaking of Shakespeare, Hulu made this really awesome movie called Rosalind.
Oh.
Rosalind.
I think I saw something about
it
that.
was so funny and so stinking cute. And then they were just like, oh, this didn't make any money, so we're just going to pull it. And I'm just like, that's garbage, because that would have been my like go-to behind, like put a movie on in the background that I absolutely love. And
Aw.
I'm so sad. So I'm going to look for it on DVD because
Yeah.
Hulu, bring it back.
We're disappointed in you.
That had the girl. I don't know if you watched Booksmart, but that was the same girl in Booksmart, right? I think it was.
I didn't see it, so I don't know. I didn't see
Oh.
Rosalind, so
Booksmart was a good movie,
yeah.
but that's movie, not book. Ironically,
Ironically, when
called
we're talking
Booksmart.
about formatting.
We are talking about storytelling in different formats, and that includes movies and TV.
I
Technically,
guess that's
yes.
true. Look, guys, you did not read the book if you watched the movie. I promise.
Yeah, no,
that is the
that's-
one caveat we have here. You can do audiobook, you can do ebook, you can do physical copy. You cannot watch the movie and claim that you read the book.
Except the 1995 Pride and Prejudice.
Okay, yeah,
that
was
is 6
pretty-
hours long. That one is exactly like the book,
Yeah.
word for word.
That one does a pretty good job.
I have not read that book at all then, because I did not watch that movie
I
either.
own that. You should watch it. Maybe we'll make Marissa sit for 6 hours. How I would ever sit for 6 hours again with a child, I don't know.
I did it in Korea. Well, not with a child, though.
She's like, that's actually what I did while I was teaching the 2 to 3 year olds.
My friends and I would do movie marathons that were based off of books. And one of them, we did one that was the Pride and Prejudice retelling. And then we did one that was A Discovery of Witches, which the show I did not care for.
The book's worse.
Okay.
I didn't know. I haven't consumed it either, but when I was learning to write movie scripts, there's websites you can go on and get movie scripts
yeah.
for free just to read them, and that was one of the ones I was reading. I never finished it, but
The show has like a pretty strong cult following, but I thought it was so cheesy and so not good. And then we also watched Everything, which was really awkward. And then there was another one that we watched that I don't remember, but we had like this whole marathon. So, yeah.
That's fun.
So,
So shall we talk about audiobooks, ebooks, and physical copies of books?
should we start with physical because that's the OG?
OG. To be honest, I think that the hard part about physical is like originally and ideally that's what all of us would like to be reading is the physical copy. If none of us had jobs and we got to live in a library and have our beautiful library surrounding us at all times, physical copies are what I want to be reading. I want to hold the book in my hand. I want to disappear into the world, and I want to consume it in every way, shape, and I want the smell. I want all of it. But I think that audiobooks and ebooks, before my life forced me to slow down and find other ways to consume my literature, I was like, no, I could never. My family bought me a Kindle, and I was like, not for
No.
me.
we bought you a Nook because I forgot about Nook before until we said it earlier, and I was like, I remember because it was the old black and white, like you didn't get anything really. It was just the
No,
book.
it was the original Kindle. Mom still has it, actually. And the only reason I know is because I asked her, like, do you have Kindle? Because I was going to let her borrow a book through Kindle. And she goes, yeah, I still have yours. And I'm like, I don't think that would work. But I could be wrong. I don't know. Or she could have been wrong, and therefore we're both wrong. We're all wrong.
I think she's wrong. Mom,
it's
you're
not
wrong.
even. It's actually, Walmart brand and not.
Mom, please look that up and text us.
Yes.
Because we're going to figure this out before this episode
Hey,
comes out.
she's our number one fan.
She is. our
That's
number
why
one
I'm
fan.
talking to her directly right now.
We can't, as my niece would say, don't sass our
Don't
number one
sass.
fan.
But she's my mom. So.
Can we medium sass her?
I was going to say, as far as physical books go, I agree with Jenna. I think they are the least convenient, but the most satisfying to consume.
Yeah.
I think every time, with our assigned readings and stuff like that we do all the time, I will inevitably usually get it on my phone as well as an e-reader, so I can read it at work when I'm on break or something, because bringing the book is really difficult for me because a lot of the times I don't get my full break. I might get called off of it for something, but it's just less satisfying and it takes me longer to get through the book sometimes.
Right.
Because I'm not as invested in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the funny thing is that, like I said, like mine, through necessity have moved towards like ebooks and audiobooks, and now I'm noticing like little irritations, like when I go to scroll and my finger doesn't fully scroll and I start at the top of the same page and I'm like, wait, and I'm like, this would never happen on a real book. And it's like the most silly little things.
When turns it back.
Yes. But it does, I think the ebooks kind of are like my second choice because it still feels like I'm reading. Audiobooks would be my third choice. That being said, I really enjoy the ability to do just about anything with an audiobook. Like, I can be in the middle of doing the dishes and be enjoying my literature that way. So there's a time and place for all. What about you? Thoughts on physical books?
Yes. I love physical books. Obviously, they're my favorite. They are very cumbersome, especially if you want to read at night before bed. And I have a bone to pick with you, Marissa. The Jasmine Throne is the biggest, thickest, floppiest book ever, and it is the most cumbersome book I've ever. I love hardbacks only because there's structure.
Yes.
And it will keep its shape. Whereas reading The Jasmine Throne has been real rough because it is so floppy and it's paperback and it has no structure. And I even tried to put a book sleeve over it so I wouldn't damage the cover because I am the third person reading this book.
Yeah.
Well, you technically did.
Third. No, third.
I'm the third, yeah. You technically did ebook for it.
I did ebook for that one.
Okay,
but I did
so
read some of
technically.
it. I did read some of it,
I
like
would
on
be
the actual book. So
I am the second and a half person
second and a half.
that has read this book. And I wish it was hardback. And I think for a high fantasy that it deserves to be a hardback.
I don't even think that they.
I don't
know
think
if
it's
it did,
out.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's releasing that. You know what's funny is I completely understand that, but I also dislike hardbacks in the fact that I hate book sleeves.
Marissa always removes the book
I
sleeves.
always take it off every single time. I cannot stand it.
Okay, we've had this debate before, and my mentality is I don't care about the book sleeves, and if they get damaged, I am totally fine with it. But if my book itself, the physical book itself, gets damaged, I am so upset. So I always have book sleeves on it.
So I respect that, and that's why I'm reading your book with the book sleeve on.
Yeah.
To make sure that it is okay and I don't damage the book at all. Not that I'm taking it to crazy places or anything, but just in case I have the book sleeve on. So when I'm reading other people's books, I keep it on to be respectful to them. My own books, it drives me absolutely
goes
insane.
away.
It immediately comes off. In fact, I have so many books on my bookshelf without the book sleeve. I'm looking over at Competence right now by Gail Carriger, and it doesn't have the book sleeve on. I have no idea where it ended up.
When I was over after Jenna moved and I went over to help her do her bookshelves, and there was like doubles of books, but any of them that had the book sleeve missing, she was like, oh yeah, that's Marissa's.
Yep.
And I was like, but where's the book sleeve? And she's like, I don't know. It's probably long gone. And I was just like, what?
So many of them are just lost or
I'm
like
pretty
crumpled
sure-
under my bed or something.
I'm pretty sure our Six of Crows and
Yeah.
both of those
Crooked
are missing
Kingdom, yeah.
the book sleeves.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whatever. Like, so I can give or take book sleeves. I like them on, and I think I tend to keep them on my hardcovers because in the very beginning I tend to use them as bookmarks if I don't have a
Of
bookmark
course.
really quick.
Yeah.
So I tend to keep them on and not bother me, but they are really annoying when I'm like trying to read laying down and the book is slowly
Just
sliding out.
out.
Of there.
Yes.
So I totally get that too. I mean, I think that I'm the type of person that like if all my books could be in hardback, that would be ideal. And if they were all exactly the same size, guys, publishers, please,
yeah.
please, can we have like a standard? This is all books are this size when they're hardcovers and this size when they're paperback, especially if they're in the same series.
Unlike my Parasol Protectorate series that I bought in Australia that is significantly shorter than the Soulless that you guys gave me.
Gosh.
Oh, man.
Yes.
I was like, oh, yeah, this is the small version. It'll totally match. And I come back to Korea and I slide it into my bookshelves and I was like, oh, my gosh. So now I just have to go back to Australia and buy the first one.
Yep.
That's what I have to do.
That's the rule now. The law.
Yeah. Let's go to Australia, you guys.
I'm down.
And then skip on over to Hobbiton in New Zealand. I want to go there.
Yeah.
I think you convinced my husband. He's been wanting to go.
Hannah's there right now, and she went to Hobbiton. Hannah, best friend Hannah. I'm
Best friend
so
Hannah.
sad. I want to go. For me, though, you had mentioned that audio is your least favorite.
Yeah.
Audio is my absolute second favorite. And a lot of the physical books that I have that are on my TBR shelf, I will just get an audio so I can have it on in the back. Because if I only focused on reading physical books, I would never get through it.
Yeah.
But like you said, I could do the dishes, I could do laundry, I could clean, I can go out and water my new garden, I can drive everywhere and listen to it. And so that's basically how I get through
The last year,
audiobooks.
that was me. The last year with having a under 2-year-old, it has been, it has to be audiobook almost all the time. Otherwise, the only time I can read is when he's sleeping, or like if I have someone else watching him with me, and I'm like, oh, good, I can catch a couple pages in my book really quick. But even trying to read, I don't want to be one of those parents that looks at my phone all the time. And I always joke with my husband because I'm like, you know, it'd be different if he looked over and caught me reading like a physical copy of a book, but it's not very portable. I can't just slide that in my pocket really quick when he needs something. So,
And he would tear the pages out.
and he would tear it up in like 5 seconds flat.
Yeah.
So yeah, audiobook definitely like saved me and allowed me to read a lot of books the last year or so, because I'm able to put one headphone in. Although now my son has learned what headphones are, so he asks for them, and then, you know, because they're wireless headphones, he pauses and unpauses and pauses and skips ahead and lowers the volume, and I'm like, no. So yeah, my ability to listen even with him has kind of gone a little to the wayside, unless he's completely distracted, because he sees it in my ear and he'll forcibly turn my head and pull it out.
I'm finding the only time I can do audiobooks is if it's nonfiction. I did, though, the only exception to that was the Ruthless Vows.
Oh, yeah.
They were amazing.
Yeah, that was a really good audiobook. But even still, like, I don't really like fantasy or any of that read to me. I don't like romance scenes read to me.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, I don't like, and then it's really hard to find a narrator that fits the book. And so typically the only time I do audiobooks is nonfiction now.
Can you guys remember what your first audiobook was?
Yes.
That was very fun.
Immediately.
What was it?
Picture this. 12-year-old birthday party at our local arcade that is no longer there, RIP. And my parents gift me the cassette tapes of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and the book itself, so I could listen to it, which was not Stephen Fry. Who was the super famous?
Oh, no, I know who you're talking about because my story goes into that as well. I don't remember his name. We have to look it up, but I do know who you're talking about.
Yep. Sorry, I'm not the person.
Jim Dale. So basically, it was that one, and that was my very, very first actual like cassette tapes that I would plug into my little boom box that I had, and it even had a headphone jack, and so I could plug in like my headphones and listen to it. It was like very soothing, and I remember listening to it at night and hearing the snake talking in Parseltongue was really creepy.
I believe it.
And then also it was
Especially
so
the
interesting for me because I would read the book, which isn't the American version, and then listen to the audiobook, which was the British version. And so like having those different, like seeing those actual different like formats and words and stuff was really interesting.
Mine is a similar story, but with very edited version. As far as the first audiobook I listened to fully was Ruthless Vows, but the first one, whatever. I can't remember.
Divine Rivals.
Divine Rivals. That's the first one I listened to fully because I'd never really gotten into audiobooks before that. That being said, the first time I really listened to an audiobook was when I was working at our local community theater, and we would be like cleaning up the theater and stuff like that. And we had a CD player there, me and the other girl I worked with, and we never brought any CDs, which would have been the smart thing. We just played whatever was there, and there was like 4 CDs there, and one of them was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, but it was only one part of it. So we listened to this part of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire over and over again sometimes.
Dang.
And it was mostly to make fun of it. It was amazing, and the narrator's awesome.
So good.
And we had already read the book, so we already knew everything. But it was like there was a place it would skip, and it would be like, chat 5. So we'd get to that point, and we'd go, chat 5.
So my first audiobook, like Marissa says, my first audiobook that I can think of that I chose to purposefully listen to the whole thing as an adult is The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule, which
That's a good one.
Is
I listened to
amazing.
that one.
It's really good. It's an amazing nonfiction book, which is what made me think of this, because my first introduction to an audiobook was nonfiction, and that's what made me enjoy audiobooks. And it's Anne Rule's firsthand account of, she's a true crime writer, and she knew Ted Bundy and worked with Ted Bundy alongside him at like a suicide prevention hotline.
Oh, right.
And so it was interesting because she told his story, and she told like her side of it too. Like, at this point I was here, and like they were saying, do you know anyone that goes by these descriptions? I'm like, that kind of sounds like Ted, but it couldn't be, but I'd feel weird if I didn't say it. So like, it was interesting. She like literally was like, I called like my contact at the police department and was like, look, this is probably nothing, but
Dude, one of my favorite things was, one of my favorite lines in there is she talked about like, they say he killed so many people, but I can be a first-hand account that he also saved so many lives, because he worked at a suicide prevention hotline.
Yeah.
And she was like, and he was very helpful, and he would save people's lives through that. And I'm like, that's the craziest thing to me. And that's why she thought for the longest time it couldn't be him, because he was helping people.
Right. It's that idea that like people will second guess something that's right in front of them because it doesn't fit with everything else that they know.
Yeah.
About that person. And then what they become famous for, you don't necessarily think about the other stuff that they did in their life that could have had other effects. And not to say that that justifies or excuses anything, which is not what her point was, but her point was that like when you know the person, you know all of these other things, that not just what they're famous for. So it's so hard to see what's right in front of you, and that's how people miss those things, But so that was my first like audiobook that I listened to, and I was like, dang, I like audiobooks. I could do this, And then I was like, Marissa, like, I think that I can only listen to nonfiction as audiobook. And for a while I was listening to true crime nonfiction, stuff like that, because that kind of was what was interesting me at the time. And then I chose Divine Rival. Well, actually, and then I think I want to say I wanted to reread A Court of Thorn and Roses at one point, and so I put it on audiobook because I got like a free promotion on it, so I got those. And I listened to those, and I was like, I can't listen to dirty scenes. And I was like, this probably is not for me. I cannot do fiction on this. But so I gave up fiction on it for a while, and then we got Divine Rivals, and that's what brought me back to it. But my very, 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 very first ever audiobook, when I was just a wee young lass, like literally probably like 4, maybe 5, like just barely starting to remember life. I remember we lived in a duplex with my grandmother, and we had a record player, and we had The Hobbit on record player. Wow. And it was an audio format of The Hobbit on record.
Do you know who the narrator was?
Dude, I don't know. I was like 5. I wish I could remember.
Oh, that would be amazing to listen
I wish that my parents were the type of people that like we didn't move around a million times, although then I never would have met you guys. Well, met you. I would have met Marissa.
Never would have met me.
Never would have met Marissa. And we kept like all that stuff, but so much stuff got lost and left behind in that time period. But it would be really cool if I could find that again. I remember vividly what it looked like, so if I ever stumbled upon it.
Something that blows my mind to think about, because we were so young when every time that our parents moved, was moving out of the house we lived in that you came over and we met at. That house, like that move, they must have thrown so much away, because that was a big house, and we had a lot of stuff. And I'm so curious of like what was left behind that like I just didn't even think about, because I was so young and didn't think about it when we moved out of it.
A lot. There was a lot. I remember moving that out of that because I was in my 20s at that point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot that got left behind. And it's funny because now as I think about it as an adult, I hate moving. I hate packing all my stuff.
Terrible.
I think we can all agree that books are the best, but moving books sucks.
Try moving books
across
the Pacific.
The world.
across the world.
I was so terrified, and we didn't do insurance, so I was so terrified because you always see videos of like, because we used a container of videos of containers, like container ships like tipping and all these containers falling into the ocean, and I was like, if that happens to my books, I have spent so much money on those books. That was like 6 years worth of Owl Crate books that are so hard to get your hands on now. And yeah, I was so terrified. And then they arrived and they were totally fine. And then I was also terrified. And so we bought a bunch of like silica packets that like they were going to get wet or like mildew. And then all my books would arrive moldy. But it was fine. It worked out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see.
God, that was horrible packing all that up. Now my library looks really nice. And I am very happy it all worked out.
Guys, I found it.
You found The Hobbit?
Yeah. I should put a picture of this on our Instagram just so you guys can see it with me. It's a production. It was a 12-page production. It had like a little 12-page book that goes along with the production from Disneyland.
Oh, that's fun.
And it was like
Disney
a full
should do a
cast.
Hobbitland.
Yeah, so it had like Orson Bean, Richard Boone, Hans Conried, I don't know, Cyril Richard Theodore maybe. So it had like all these different people, but yeah, look at, see if this like.
Oh, it's so cute. It's very cartoony.
It does not.
Doesn't ring any bells for Marissa. I could put this up and my brother
You
would
weren't
be like,
even
"Oh
in
my
existence
gosh!"
then.
Yeah, she
No, I
wasn't.
was not. They'd moved out of that house by the time I was born.
My brother will look at it and be like, "Jenna, you've unlocked another childhood memory," because that's all we do with each other is send each other childhood memories to unlock.
So after Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which was the only audiobook I had of that series, and that's my favorite book, probably because I had like such a core memory of that. When I was in Korea, you know, I was listening to the Adventure Zone podcast, and one of their ads was Audible. Hashtag not an ad, but could be. And so I did the whole like, oh, if you sign up now, you get 2 free books. So I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to do that. And people had always raved about Interview with a Vampire. And my favorite movie is Stardust. Well, one of my favorite movies is Stardust. And so I thought, oh, I'll read the book too. And I hated both of those.
Oh, no.
Hated both of them. And I thought, okay, so maybe I'm not an audiobook person. The reason I didn't like Interview with a Vampire, because I think the book itself is just boring compared to what I knew from the movies and now the show. But like, I thought the movies are so like, even though it is like a slow burn, it is very like atmospheric and like has these feels to it. And I feel like the book didn't encompass that.
Yeah,
And so I did not like it at all.
I could see that.
Because it was literally just an interview with a vampire. And there was like hardly any descriptions of anything. And so I didn't really care for that. And then Stardust, since I loved the movie so much and it's such a fun, quirky movie. And have I talked to you about this on the podcast
How
yet?
you liked the movie and not the book?
And the book, like, it felt so childish to me.
Yeah.
Even though he said he specifically, like, because he read the book, Neil Gaiman read the book for the audiobook. And he did a great job, but I didn't like the story itself only because I have the movie so ingrained in my brain. Mm-hmm. And we probably actually did talk about this for the
movie.
our movies
Yeah.
and our adaptation episode. But after that, then I got a library card to our local mini library, not like the Capitol Library. But I got the library card, and I basically went through the entire young adult catalog in like 6 months. And I just devoured everything. And that's where I discovered the Scorpio races, because I was just like, oh, they haven't, whatever audiobooks they have, I will just listen to. And so I did every single audiobook that they had. And then I got a library card for our Capitol's library and ended up, now I will never be able to get through that catalog because there's so many.
Because there's a lot.
But yeah, I discovered so many really nice, really good books from, like, I also discovered basically any Maggie Stiefvater book. So Scorpio Races, and then I did all of the Raven Cycle books, which I absolutely adore. And even a couple that I honestly cannot remember the names of.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at my Goodreads, but yeah. So I've done so many audiobooks, and that was like back in maybe 2017 is when I really started just going through audiobooks, and I haven't stopped since. And I think last year my most read format was audiobooks, just because you can get through them pretty quickly.
Yeah. They are definitely a lot more flexible with when you can read them.
Right.
And I like that.
It's also cool to have like that second choice of like if you're in your car or something like that, and you don't want to listen to music or you can't figure out, because I'm the type of person that has so many different types of music that I listen to that it's like I can't figure out my mood.
Yeah.
So it was nice when I had an audiobook that I was listening to.
Yeah.
And then also podcasts, obviously.
Yeah.
If you guys are listening to this podcast, thank you.
in your car,
yeah.
specifically.
I forgot that we
If
were
you
doing a
couldn't-
podcast. I was like, yeah, podcasts are great.
Yeah, podcasts are awesome, guys.
They're so great. Oh, wait. That's what we're doing.
Hey guys, listen to podcasts.
if you can't figure out what you want to listen to, tune in.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's like I do like audiobooks as a like secondary choice when I can't figure out what I want to listen to in my car. However, like I said, it's typically nonfiction, and I have to find the right story that I want to listen to with the right narrator.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the hardest part, is finding the narrator that fits what I want to read.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Narrators are so important to audiobooks. And I think that's why Scorpio Races stood out to me so much, was because it is Fiona Hardingham and Sean West, who their voices are so good and so perfect together. And they also did An Ember in the Ashes together.
Oh, nice.
They are phenomenal in that one. But there are so many bad narrators out there as well. Like we talked about with Girls with Paper and Fire. It was horrendous to listen to. It was so hard to get through that if they can ruin the narration, it ruins the whole experience.
Yeah.
And it could ruin the whole book. Like the one I was trying to listen to, Shine by, I forgot her last name, but Jessica from Girls' Generation, which is a K-pop band, or former member of that group. She wrote her own book, and I tried to listen to the audiobook for it, and the narrator could not pronounce Korean words right.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
And so I was so frustrated because I'm fluent in Korean, so I have to, like, I can half the time suspend my disbelief with, you know, okay, you got it close enough. But for this one, like, the word for older sister is unni. So, like, Marissa would say to Jenna, you're her unni. And she would say, oh, yeah, my uni. And I was just like, oh, no, don't do it. I hated it. So I
Oh, gosh.
I can't even think about that book now because it was so bad.
It's funny. It makes me think. I actually enjoyed them. I listened to them and I enjoyed them, but I listened to all of the Once Upon a Con from Ashley Poston.
Oh, yeah.
All of those I listened to an audiobook, and all of them were done pretty well. But you could very much tell that the narrators were not nerds.
Oh,
and these
yeah.
are all nerd books.
Oh, wait, you were talking about
the Daleks.
Daleks?
And like, I think there was another Star Wars term. I'm like, look, Star Wars is huge. You have, like, you can't not pronounce a Star Wars term correctly. Like Doctor Who, I guess I can forgive you because it's not crazy mass popular, but come on, Star Wars is owned by Disney. Like, although I guess Doctor Who's on Disney right now too. So
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
That's just because Disney's owning everything.
it's because Disney has a monopoly on life. That's
I
it.
will say for audiobooks, though, my retention rate for those, not retention rate, that's different. The way I'm able to retain my knowledge of the book is significantly less
Yeah.
because I am able to zone out a lot easier for that.
Yeah.
As we were just talking about us zoning out during reading
Yeah.
recently. But for books, like if you were to say, oh, you read this book? Like there's the joke on the internet, like, oh, you read this book? And like, yeah, I absolutely loved it. Oh, what was it about? No, you can't ask me that.
Yeah.
There's no way I remember that.
No, no.
I just remember I loved it.
Yeah.
For me, that is 100% how I do with audiobooks. With physical books, it's a lot easier because I feel like, you know, reading and my brain is hardwired to remember that a lot more.
Yeah.
But audiobooks, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way too. I learn more from visual, I think, than
Yeah.
audio. So for me, I tend to retain more information through that, which is why like high fantasy books are a little bit easier for me with physical copies, so read the words. Although admittedly, I think I listened to part of Jasmine Throne and I enjoyed that and I retained enough of that. But I think I did not try to multitask and do other things while listening. I think I just plugged the headphone in and did it while he was sleeping.
The other best part about having audiobooks and having somebody that read the physical book versus somebody that listened to the audiobook is hearing how we pronounce things differently.
Exactly. I was just going to say I kind of want to do a chapter, or at least the first chapter of Jasmine Throne, just so I can hear how all of these really long, like, I think Indian-based words are spoken.
Yeah, Marissa and I, it was funny because I'm talking, I'm like, oh yeah, and then Ahiranya, and she's like, that's it, wait, what?
I didn't know what she was talking about at first. She said something, and I'm all like, who? What? And she's like, the country. And I'm like, oh. And I know in my head, I knew I pronounced it wrong. And it got to a point where I was like, I know I'm pronouncing this wrong, so I'm just going to pronounce it the way I pronounce it. Yeah, like, basically, I think I had pronounced it like Oriana, even though I knew it wasn't. Or I pronounced it Ariana, even though it's not how it was spelled. That's just how I was able to.
That's what your brain told you it said.
Sadly, Americanize it. And then Jenna would talk about it, and it was like even Malini.
Yeah.
And how do you Malini?
Oh, I was reading it as Malini.
Yeah,
that's how I read it that way too. And then I listened to some of it, and it was Malini.
And that actually makes sense. And to me, that sounds better to my ear holes than Malini.
I'm trying to think of all the other ones.
There were so many.
It was actually a very good audiobook. I enjoyed the audiobook.
Okay.
So if you feel like you want to mix up your media, that's a good one.
I think I said, like I said, I'll probably just do the first chapter just so I can know. But I do remind me, I have to ask you so many questions because I am very confused about the book.
It takes a little while. Don't worry. I was confused for a while too.
She asked me some questions too that I was like, okay, I have to clarify. You did that with Eon too.
Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
But did you physically read Eon?
I did physically read Eon. I was really excited about it.
If you saw my notes in there were points where I was all like, wait, I'm a little confused here. Like, how does this work? But as you read it, it makes more sense.
It definitely, like, by the third chapter of Eon, I understood everything. Like, enough of everything to, like...
Well, also because I helped you a little bit on that.
Yeah, but it was, like, I didn't feel confused anymore.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's funny how, like, I did listen to a little bit of Jasmine Throne, and it did change the pronunciation in my head, and it helped.
Okay.
And it might also help you get through it, too.
Yeah.
Because they do a really good job with the audiobook, the narrators.
Okay. Yeah, I might tackle that when get through my current 2 books that I have on.
Pumika was the other one.
Pumika. Yeah.
Who?
Pumika.
Yeah, you'll get there.
I'm not there yet.
No.
I will say the newest trend right now for audio is dramatic.
Oh, yeah.
Like audio versions. So like A Court of Thorns and Roses has a dramatic version.
Yeah.
And one of them that I read that was absolutely mind-blowing and so beautiful was His Dark Materials by, I think it's Philip Pullman, and that's the Golden Compass, Subtle Knife, and I don't remember what the third one was. I don't think I actually read the third one, but they did such a great dramatic retelling where each character had their own voice, and then the author himself would do the narration part, but he wouldn't do so far as like the main girl, I forgot, Lyda? I don't remember her name.
Yeah.
She would say something and he wouldn't go and say she said. Yeah. It was just the narration. It was her voice, and then the narration would be, and then she did this and that and that and that. Yeah. And then another person would say something, and having an entire full cast of that was absolutely beautiful. I think, listeners, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Sir Patrick Stewart even had a voice in it. Yeah, It was fantastic. But I think even Fourth Wing got a dramatic.
Yeah, I think they did
as well. I do know that they redid the audiobook because the original audiobook people complained was really bad, but I don't know if it got I don't want to say retelling, but a dramatic version. But I think it is getting one, or
it would
had
make
one done. It's so popular, they could do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it makes sense because we get Zayden's point of view, but I think that doesn't come until the second one, huh?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't read the second one yet.
I don't remember. To be honest, I didn't finish the second one.
Oof, that's rough, buddy.
I was gonna say that does make me think of the fact that the only complaint that Marissa had in all of Jasmine Throne
Yes.
was not obvious to me because I listened to so much of it in
So I
audiobook.
don't want to say it because I don't want it to be obvious.
Yeah.
And I didn't even put it in my notes until towards the end of the book because I didn't
Okay.
want it to be something that stood out to people because I noticed it. And
Is it not gay enough or something?
No,
This
it's
isn't
plenty
gay
gay.
enough.
It's fine. No, there was just something with the writing style that
Okay.
I noticed it, and it was just the tiniest thing that brought it down for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Jenna once she finished the book, I'm like, okay, this was the thing that bothered me when I was reading it. She's like, I did not notice that at all, but she read it audiobook as well. So
Yeah. I'd say a good portion of it was audiobook, and because of that, I didn't even notice it was there.
Okay.
So it was funny. It'll be interesting to see if you catch what it is, and you'll be like
Yeah,
halfway through.
I'm
This is what it is.
interested.
Although now she's just going to be like, what could be annoying?
yeah, exactly.
I mean, for me, I feel like she just throws us in as if we know the world.
Yeah.
And to me, on one hand, I like that, but on the other hand, I don't. So, like, even with The Priory of the Orange Tree, which we've talked about multiple times about how difficult it is to read in the very beginning, because she doesn't hold your hand as you go through the story, which, again, on the one hand, I really like because I feel like I'm more immersed in the world. But on the other hand, also feel like I'm being pulled out because I'm just like,
Wait, what does this mean?
I don't understand.
Yeah. I agree. I would compare Jasmine Throne to Priory of the Orange Tree in a lot of sense.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think that when I look at books and I know that that's going to happen, it makes me hesitant to get into the book. But when I'm reading a book and I'm like, okay, this is what's happening, I literally have to tell myself, you're confused right now, but you'll
Yeah.
understand soon.
Right.
And like, that's the only way that I can like get past it. Like, just keep reading because you don't know what's happening. But if you keep reading, eventually it'll make sense. And I think that those books, the ones that do that stuff, are the ones that are fun to reread later.
Yes.
Because
You pick
then
up
you
on
catch
everything.
on
Yeah.
to the things that you would have missed before.
Yeah.
I also think the cool thing with the Jasmine Throne is that you're working out this mystery where I think you got that a lot in the Priory of the Orange Tree too, as
Yeah.
you're working out like the truth behind everything. And it's the same thing with the Jasmine Throne where you're working out this mystery of like, okay, you're in this world and you see what they believe, but what is actually going on?
Yes.
And that's something I like in that book and
Yeah.
those types of books is the like trying to figure out what they believe first. And then they're like, okay, now you know what everybody believes. Here's what really happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those books. And I feel like that kind of happened in a little bit in Amina Al-Sarafi, mostly with her ex-husband. Have you met her ex-husband yet?
I don't think so.
Okay. I was gonna turn to Jenna. What do you think
you?
of that? Oh wait, it's not your turn yet.
No.
So
she's
funny
next.
enough is,
Which ex-husband though?
Exactly. Exactly.
oh, this is feeling like the 7 husbands of
It is. I'm not kidding. She talks about multiple husbands.
So the funny thing about Amina Al-Sarafi is that I read Eon, and I had put a hold on Iona as I was getting close to the end because I was like, I need to read this next one, especially with everything's fresh in my mind. I want to know what's happening. The way Iona ends, you need to get into the second one, or you want to know what happens in the next one.
Eon, the first one.
Eon, sorry. The first one ends. You want to know what's going into the second one. So I had put a hold on it, and but I didn't have anything lined up to read. And so all of a sudden, Amina Al-Sarafi becomes available on Libby, and I was like, that's not my turn. And usually I just push it out. And I've been doing that since January when I originally put the hold on it. So I was like, you know what? It's close enough. I'm going to read it. And so I got it. And then I read the first chapter of the first chapter.
4 introductions.
Yeah. There's
Well, I read the introductions, which were really funny, and I really liked those. But then I really liked the first chapter from Amina's point of view, and I read that one, and I was just like, this is going to be such a great book. And then Iona came available, and I was like, okay, Jenna, just wait your turn and read the actual copy and everyone's notes, because you already have 7 notes, and it's not even the end of the first chapter yet.
Right.
So I was like, just do the physical copy like you did with Eon. So I'm already looking forward to her the way she wrote and the
Yeah.
storytelling and the voice of this book. just because I really loved it already. So I kind of got a taste of what I'm looking forward to. But right now I'm also doing a palette cleanser of easy little books because I feel like I've been a lot of heavy books lately.
Yeah. We were just talking about before we started recording that we're all kind of doing some palette cleansers because between required reading and annotating and stuff, we all need a little bit of a break. Plus it's summer and you just want to read easy, you know, summary books. Well, maybe not specifically summary books, but some books that are, you know, not required reading from school because we're on vacation, not really.
Yeah. Beach reads, if you will.
We'll. A month from now,
could be.
Less than a month from now, we'll be on vacation altogether.
That's true.
It's true.
Bring our books.
Yes.
I've said all I had to do about audiobooks. Should we talk about ebooks?
Yeah, we can talk about ebooks.
Yeah.
Speaking of vacation, to me, ebooks are for traveling.
Yeah.
I love my Kindle. When I was in Korea, it was a staple in my life because obviously I lived in a very tiny apartment. My book space was very limited, and the fear of having to move all of those books to America was very very scared. And I was the same as you, where my mom was like, Megan, do you want a Kindle? And I was like, how dare you? I would never get a Kindle. That is the cheap man's way out of reading. And then right before Christmas, I was like, maybe I do want a Kindle. And then for Christmas, my parents had already bought me a Kindle when they asked me. And I love that thing. And that was so easy to read on the subway, on a bus, on a plane, because it had the backlight. And so you didn't have to turn on your light to read. It has so many books on it. It is so convenient. Kindle, please sponsor us. We love you.
We do.
So ebooks.
We didn't at first, but we do now.
Now that I'm in America, though, I only use my Kindle if I can't get the audio, or if I can't get the audiobook, or they don't offer an audiobook, or you know I'm just lazy to go buy the next book in a series, and I just can one tap and it's already in my Kindle. But for me, it's mostly just if I can't get the book or I'm traveling, so that's when I use my Kindle now. But I do love it.
Really funny because I almost disagree with that in the fact that
ebooks are for work.
Well, yeah, ebooks are for work for me. When I'm traveling, I'm like, this is my opportunity to get to sit and read my physical book.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I do not use ebooks for traveling because I like having that book there with me.
Yeah.
And being able to read it. Ebooks for me are for when I don't want people to know I'm reading a book.
I thought you were going to say smut, and I was like, Marissa?
For smut.
It's for when I am at work.
Yeah.
If I am antisocial at some sort of gathering,
Yep.
I bring out my phone and people think I'm like scrolling through my phone, but I'm reading a book.
Yeah.
But yeah, just anytime I want to do it and I don't have a book with me because I'm supposed to be social, or B, I don't want people to know I'm reading.
So I'm with Marissa on that. I'm that way too. I actually complained to my husband one time on that note that somehow it was socially acceptable if you pull out your phone and ignore people when you're at like family gatherings or social gatherings.
But you pull out a
if
book
you pull
and
out a
there's,
book, they're like, "What are you doing?"
She's just bookish.
Oh, why would you? Why
She's
is
being so antisocial right now reading her book. And it's like, nope.
Is she mad at us? It's like weird thing. Like people look at you weird if you just pull out your book in the middle of nowhere. I like my book. I used to travel with my book in my purse all the time. I would literally, I will keep my book on my phone. I've had a physical copy of a book and an ebook version.
Yep, same.
So that if I'm at work and I go to the bathroom, I can read a couple pages. Or if I have just like my moments of I can sneak this in and read a little bit here. So I'm the type of person that it's like, I want my ebook when it's portable for me, when it can go with me anywhere. Now as I have a kid, so I don't drop the giant book on top of his head while he's breastfeeding, as we've talked about on here many a time.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because every single time I'm looking at my phone and reading, we had this coworker, and our coworker.
I was just gonna bring that up because you have changed my perception on it.
So our coworker, he looked at me one time and he goes, "Oh." He goes, "Jenna, you're always reading books. You're such a reader." He goes, "My mom's a reader too." But then she started reading books on her phone. And I told her, "Mom, now you look like every other mindless person just staring at your phone all the time." And so I'm like, so I hear his voice in my head Jake, if you're listening, your voice lives in my head forever.
So the funny thing about that, because his mom works where I work.
Right.
And so I'll see her in the hallways at work looking at her phone. And before, she's really high up where we work. She's like a VP or something like that. So I was always like, oh, she's checking her emails. She's doing like super important work stuff. Jenna told me that story and I'm all like, she's reading a book.
She's reading.
Every time I see her now back in the hallways on her phone, I'm like, she's probably reading her book.
Yeah. Yeah, but now I just think every time I'm looking at my phone reading a book, now you look like every other mindless idiot looking at their phone. I'm like, dang it.
But I'm pretty sure that person also is a mindless idiot looking at their phone a lot too.
Oh, well, I don't know. Actually,
It's
he's a
not-
lawyer.
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
He's
And
looking up the law.
he's
Okay, but to go off of that, imagine you're on your honeymoon and you're reading the entire Percy Jackson series and you finish a book. What are you going to carry? 5 books?
Okay,
10
yeah.
books in your suitcase?
So
the funny thing is that I think we can all understand that on your honeymoon you do read.
That
But
is exactly what I
funny-
did.
The funny thing about that is that I'm the type of person where I'm excited and I get excited and I'll pack 3 books in my suitcase almost any vacation I go on, whether it's a weekend away or like a month away. There's at least 3 books. But I do very much enjoy that there's Wi-Fi everywhere now and I can
You just-
download books
Yeah.
to come with me too.
Yeah.
So it's like if I don't want to read those 3 books, or I read one and then I'm like, wait, now I like this author and I must read the next book, I have the option. So it's
ebook,
like,
exactly.
I want the physical book, but when push comes to shove, there's backups. Although I'm
ultimately-
also the person that would look anywhere for any used bookstore that I could possibly walk
exactly.
into.
Same.
So
Same.
ultimately what it's going to come down to for me is I will have my book that I am reading. If I'm at the very beginning of it, I personally doubt that I will finish that book, depending on how long the vacation is, but I doubt I'll finish that book in the vacation because other plans. If I'm towards the end of it, I bring the backup book, and then I always bring a notebook, so if I'm not reading, I'm writing.
So
Yeah.
I think before we go camping, we should announce what books we're bringing when we go camping.
sounds good.
Depending on where I go, yes, or depending on where I'm at in your book.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I'm struggling through it and I'm not reading much, then it'll be that book. And then if not, then
Yeah. I have to annotate a book because best friend Hannah is coming back from New Zealand because we're going to go to our K-pop convention, KCON in LA. Anyone's out there, come say hi to me.
When?
It's the week after we go camping.
Oh my gosh.
And that's
sounds
why
intense.
Ryan's coming too.
Oh.
Because he's going to be in LA. And so since we're all meeting there, I promised her, because she and I annotate books for each other. That's what gave me the idea to do with you guys. Since she and I annotate books for each other, I have 2 books of the Luminaries, and I think that's Susan Dennard. I'm not sure. So I have 2 versions of those, one from Owlcrate, one from Illumicrate. And so I'm going to annotate the Owlcrate version for her and give that to her. So I have to read that before I see her. So I
that's
might
on your
be doing that
goals.
one. But I wanted to also bring it back. The only book that I have in every single format, ebook, because it was such a massive book and I didn't want to carry it around, was Priory of the Orange Tree. And then I have the physical copy because when I came here after reading it, and I loved it so much and I knew that would be an auto buy for me, I bought the physical copy. And then when A Day of Fallen Night, the prequel, came out, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the audiobook. So I have it in all 3 formats. And I have no regrets. I love it so much.
You know what's
It is
funny?
so good.
I was thinking about this, and I definitely need to say this in this episode. Nowadays, because my life has slowed down so much, and most of the books that I consume are virtual in some way or form, either ebook or audiobook, I've gotten so much pickier with physical books that I
Interesting.
buy. I have a huge shelf full of books, but I now don't necessarily go and buy books just off the shelf all the time anymore, or go into bookstores and buy them. I might get ideas of like, oh, I'm gonna put that on my like Libby list or whatever. But now I'm like, well, if I'm gonna spend money on a physical copy, I want one that's, got stenciled edges, and I want
Yeah.
one that's, it's like, nowadays I'm almost thinking that that's what's going to end up happening to all physical books, is the stenciled edge and the beautiful publications and all of that are becoming such a thing that for people to want to buy them as much anymore, it's going to become a big thing that that's what everyone's going to have to offer to make your bookshelf beautiful, since there are so many options for other things. But yeah, now I'm super picky about, like, I want the prettiest version of it, and I want, if that means I have to ship it in from Germany.
We definitely made that joke of you having that bookshelf that looks like you haven't read any of the books.
Right.
And you're like, I loved this one. It doesn't look like it's been picked up at all. I read it. Don't worry.
I read it. Don't worry.
Just not that version.
Just not that version.
That's what I do with all my TBR shelf that I have the physical copies of, but I do the audiobooks. I pull it out and put it from my TBR shelf, my actual physical TBR shelf, to where it belongs on my read shelves. So yeah, it's never been read.
But it looks beautiful.
But I have read the book.
You were talking about you have books that you have in all three formats. I don't, because there's so little that I listen to on audiobook. But I definitely have ones that I've had in like e-reader and physical copy, not just because I wanted to get through both of them like you did with Priority for the Orange Tree. I did the same thing because I wanted to read it at work and read it at home. But I've got books like Lies We Tell Ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've reread that book so many times.
I forgot to return that to you.
That's okay. I mean, when you can, yeah.
I'll see you.
But because I've reread that book so many times, and being able to, like, if I ever want to just reread it whenever, it's a go-to for mine. Same thing with some of the Gail Carriger books. I have that, like, mostly her novellas. I don't have her full series in e-reader, but I should, honestly.
I did do the audiobooks of those, and they were real cute.
So I found out that Soulless was on Spotify. And so I started listening to Soulless a little bit, and it's a good narrator.
Yeah,
I will give that.
She does a really good job. She has a little spunk to her.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, I'll give it a go. I want to re-listen.
If you want to reread and you can't do the physical copy, I'd recommend doing the audiobook.
Yeah,
it sounds pretty
super
good.
cute.
Yeah, adorable.
They're all on our Capital Library's
Nice.
Libby.
Nice.
Because that's I think it was like, as I was preparing to leave for from Korea, I was just like, you know what? I've had these on my shelves. I know I love them, and I read like one every year, and I was like, I'm just gonna finish the final 3. And it's one of those series. I know we talk about this all the time, how great it is, but honestly, it is one of those series that, like, as I read it, I'm like, why did I ever stop?
Right?
Because it's so funny. It is so funny and so stinking cute.
I literally. I was having one of those, like, waiting between book type things on Libby, and I did her little novella, How to Marry a Werewolf, which was Channing of the Chesterfield Channings, Wolf of the Chesterfield Wolves.
Yes.
His little novella, and it was so cute, and I was like, I have to read all of her books again. And then I was like, wait, Jenny, you have required reading. You can't just jump into that.
We have so much we have to do. You know, have you guys ever seen About Time, the movie?
No.
Oh, yeah. Wait, Justin Timberlake, that one?
No.
Okay.
That one's just... Oh, shoot. Is that About Time? No, that's...
I think that's In Time or
In
something.
Time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, About Time, he basically can, like... He just shoves himself into a closet. It's Domhnall Gleeson. We love him. No, he played Bill in Harry Potter. He's cute.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
If you see him, you know.
Yeah, I
he
recognize
was
him.
in the newer Star Wars series as
the
annoying.
I know who you're talking about.
One. Yeah, that he had beef with Kylo Ren for no reason. Anyway, so he's like a cute little dork guy in that movie, and it's so cute. And basically, he discovers that he can travel through time. Mm-hmm. And so when he goes back for the very first time and then comes back and he talks to his dad, he's like, what do you do with it? Like, what do you do with this power that you have? And he's like, it's books, all about books. I have read everything I could ever want. And I'm just like, yes, we need that power.
Yes. Can I just freeze? So that
Just go back in time, reread more books, and then you can read anything.
I will always remember when Jenna talked about her anxieties and stuff like that. She's like, it all stems from the fact that I want to read every book there is, and I know I don't have enough time to read every book there is.
I will tell
sounds about
you,
right.
The majority of the books, if you think about the average rated book, there's going to be so many that are not good. So if that's any consolation...
Yeah, but I want to read all the good ones. And
there you go.
You have to get through all the bad ones, too. And
No.
so then you just might accidentally ruin your... I wasted days on this bad one.
Right.
So...
Yeah, don't even worry about it. Just focus on the good ones.
And this is why we have so many different ways to read the books.
Right.
Exactly.
Now I can listen to them when I'm not reading. This is why Megan has multiple books going at all times.
Yeah,
Yes.
every time we go, so what are we reading? And she's like, well, I have my physical book and I have my audio book.
I love
It's
it.
true.
Guys, I do need to kind of wrap this up because
Yeah.
my husband's saying my son's tired.
Yeah.
But so I do have any other parting words or thoughts on formats of books before I ask you guys what you're reading?
No, I just think I'd highly recommend giving audiobooks a try, but take the ones that are recommended to you first before you go into just randomly choosing one.
Right.
Because that's
Yeah.
what happened to me, and I didn't listen to audiobooks for a long time.
So if you guys had an audiobook that you recommend, mine would be The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater.
Okay. If you're going if you're going fiction, I would recommend Divine Rivals.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're going nonfiction, honestly, I'm gonna go with The Stranger Beside Me because
Right.
that one was really good.
Yeah, Stranger Beside Me. I'd usually say Divine Rivals so far has been my favorite audiobook. That being said, since I want to give you another recommendation, I really did like the Once Upon a Con, even though they messed up stuff. I just thought that they were cute, fun, and really easy to listen to because they're real world. And even though they're like high school, they don't feel high school. It was cute and fun and adorable. And there's representation, so I enjoyed all of that.
All right.
Okay, guys, so what are you guys currently reading right now?
I know we said we were going to have palette cleanser, but I am currently reading The Adventures of Mina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty.
Goodbody?
Yeah, I know how to say words. So yeah, I am currently reading that one. I am hoping to get inspired to just power through it, not because it's a bad book, but I just need that inspiration.
Yeah.
It's a good book. It's been very good. I just, like we've said, it's a lot of assigned reading, so it's
Yeah.
a lot of mentally get prepared for it.
Yeah.
So.
And it's very different from the assigned reading that we've been reading. So, what about you, Megan?
Well, for audiobook, I'm doing Stars and Smoke by Mary Lou, and that one is basically just a superstar singer is recruited by this fake CIA, not fake, but this sort of CIA organization to bring down a mafia boss.
Nice.
And so far it's pretty cute as well. Mary Lou, she does some cute stuff. And then for my physical book, I'm technically doing The Jasmine Throne, but I'm going to take a break and hop into The Murder of Mr. Wickham, which is our other assigned reading. But
All
this
the
is one
assigned
that I chose, so I'm totally okay with it. Just so I can finish that and then give it to one of you guys if you want to borrow the physical copy. So I was probably going to do that tonight, actually.
Nice.
Pull that in. So, yeah. How about you, Jenna?
I am 1% into, so I've just started The Long Game by Elena Armas, who was the author of The Spanish Love Deception, and I just love that. I like her. She does really good little rom-coms. The first page made me really laugh because it was not at all what I expected. Like, the first line, I just have to give you guys the first line because I literally sent it to Marissa. It made me laugh because I was like, wait, what? It's a rom-com book. It's
Perfect for
pastel
summer.
colors with
Perfect for
no
summer.
face on, perfect for summer. And the first line of this is, first, I'll read you guys the dedication. The dedication is for all the girls who might have lost it once or twice. So what? Let those beautiful feelings rain on them, babe.
Love it.
So I loved that. But the first
You
line of
didn't
this
send
book,
me the dedication, and now we're hearing that and what the first line is.
so much better, right? The first line of this book is, the head rolled off his shoulders and halted at my feet with a thump.
That's like the start of the Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, the second one, where she's like, the foot didn't fit in my bag.
I love it.
Like anything, I'm all for good hooking lines. And that would have fit in so many books that I would read, but it was not what I was expecting from this book. And I'm immediately like, all right, I'm sold.
You're
I
like,
you.
am I back in my true crime era?
Right. All right, guys, I actually just closed my phone, and it's funny because I'm the one telling you guys the quote. But since we're ending this on a quote, we're talking mostly about storytelling. I thought this quote was beautiful. Marissa actually found it.
Yes,
so
it's
thank
one
you,
of mine.
Marissa. Storytelling is among the oldest forms of communication. Storytelling is the commonality of all human beings in all places, in all times. And I thought that was beautifully put, because that's really all this is about, is storytelling. It's not necessarily about which format you're absorbing the storytelling in. So anyway, thanks guys. Until next week.
Yes, thank you. Please like, subscribe, follow, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, do all the
stuff.
things with the thumbs up.
Yep.
Which we're doing to you, but
You can't see.
Because this
Hit those
is the
thumbs up
audio
button.
format.
Hit the thumbs up button, guys. All right, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.